Johnny Tapia to take on Freddie Hernandez. And now let's go to the center of the ring for the official introductions.
Here we go, super bantamweights, 8 rounds. In the blue corner to my left from Mexicali, Mexico. He's wearing blue trunks with a black trim, 8 wins, 1 loss, 5 wins by knockout at 122, Freddie Hernandez. In the red corner from Albuquerque, New Mexico, wearing black trunks, 8 wins, 1 draw, 6 wins by knockout, 2 times National Golden Gloves champion at 119, Johnny Tapia. Our third man in the ring, Mr. Kenny Davis.
Johnny Tapia, fine fighter, ranked by the USBA about number 13 at 115 pounds, which is either super flyweight or junior bantamweight. His opponent, Freddie Hernandez, is a natural featherweight, Phil. So actually there's 10 pounds difference between these two.
To win the fight. I want you to watch the low blows, no kidney punches, no rabbit punches. Fight a good, fair fight and try to win it. Understand? You'll shake hands now before the last round. Good luck to both of you.
Man you hear administering the directions is referee Kenny Davis. As you take a look at Tapia, he's 5'6", 119 pounds, 3 years of an age factor on Freddie Hernandez, and the reach, it will not be a factor, but speed of hands might be.
Johnny Tapia, very fast fighter. Very fast fighter, but as I said, a natural 115-pounder. And Tapia is a natural 150-pounder, while Hernandez is a natural 126-pounder featherweight. See the difference in the upper bodies. Hernandez is a much bigger upper body wingspan than Tapia. Johnny Tapia isn't tough. I think Hernandez lost his first fight, and he's won every fight thereafter. 3 first-round KOs, a big puncher in the first round.
Hernandez from Mexicali. Well, I'll tell you what, when they stage fights in Mexicali, the entire town pours out.
Well,
nobody's at home.
Last week they had a riot in the Mexicali bull ring. Harold Rhodes went down there and he won on a knockout over a Mexican fighter, and the crowd got a little out of hand. Stan Hoffman was hit with a chair.
From HBA.
Yeah. The Huffer was tough, though. Standing 8 count, Stan was back on his feet.
Yeah, we've been hit with bigger chairs than they have in Mexicali.
Johnny Tapia with a tattoo on his chest. 2-time national amateur champion. 1983 and 1985. At 106, 112 pounds, he was the best in the country. Hernandez not throwing too many jabs. Both these fighters, well-skilled fighters, and they've also been to school. They're both decently schooled fighters. Tapia especially. Good right hand lead by Tapia twice. Tapia leading with that hook. Good body shot counter by Hernandez.
Boy, Hernandez lightning quick on the counters.
Lightning quick, and his punches hurt, Phil, because as I mentioned earlier, he's a natural featherweight, 126 pounds. I know when I moved up from 139 to 147, Ernie Chavez, who fought here on the Marriott card, dusted me in 2 rounds in Las Vegas. So I know that 4 or 5 pound weight disadvantage is too much. Good body shot by Tapia. Right hand followed jab.
What, both these fighters with superior hand speed.
Good combination, punctuated by the right hand by Tapia. Hernandez caught it flush. Hernandez nodding off, facing a former 2-time national amateur champion in Tapia. He told me today at the weigh-ins, he said, I'll knock this guy out. A lot of people have said that about Johnny Tapia, and nobody has yet. Good right hand by Hernandez, his best punch so far in the fight.
Boy, an entertaining first round as these two super band.
Exactly what is the problem?
Your fight game, you have come to the right place, Z-Channel. And fights from the Grand Ballroom at the Marriott in Irvine. Oh, what a night it has been thus far, Pedro.
Action-packed, and this fight's just now starting to heat up. Johnny Tapia in the long, dark blue trunks. Freddie Hernandez in the light blue trunks with the black trim.
Is bantamweight scheduled to go 8. It is a safe assumption that this fight probably will not get into the 6th round.
I didn't think it would go 3 or 4 rounds. Both these guys are out here to bang. No doubt about it. Hernandez has that Thomas Hearns kamikaze type of mentality, kill or be killed. He explained it to me at the weigh-in today. He says, I'm going to either go out here and knock him out or get knocked out. So,
speaking of Tommy Hearns, he is set to do battle in a couple of months against Sugar Ray. We'll be talking more about that this evening.
The war. Promoted on closed circuit television in Southern California. Good left hook by Hernandez. Tapia grabs a little bit. That might have been the hardest Johnny Tapia has been hitting in a long time.
Hernandez on the right, Tapia on the left.
Tapia not going in with reckless abandonment now after he got tagged with that hook. Johnny Tapia with the tattoo on his chest. Freddie Hernandez, the darker of the two fighters. Johnny Tapia's got a fine jab, Phil. He can really dictate the outcome of this fight with that jab if he doubles up on it like he did there. But the key for Tapia is to get off first. Not let Hernandez get off first, because Hernandez, good right hand by Hernandez. Hernandez, obviously the bigger, stronger fighter. Lunging right hand by Hernandez there. Good right uppercut by Tapia. They're both winging it. Tapia always in fine shape.
So you can forget about any form of defense in this bout.
Well, Tapia's trying not to get hit. I mean, he got hit by one shot on the neck. There's still a bruise on his neck. It looks like a monkey bite or a hickey, but that one left hook put a big bruise on the neck of Johnny Tapia. Good exchange by both fighters.
Get the feeling as this fight winds down here at the end of round 2 that this could come down to a fight where the best counter fighter may prevail.
Sports brings you the best in
And faster talking African adventure from 1962. It stars John Wayne, Elsa Martinelli, and Red Buttons. Hatari coming up next on the Z Channel.
Starring the Duke.
Couple of pretty good stars in the ring right now. You're looking at one of them, Freddie Hernandez. He saw stars in round 1 when Tapia caught him with a good uppercut. He recovered, finished strong in round 1, and I'd say round 2 was a pretty good even exchange.
Well, I gave a slight edge to Freddie Hernandez. He landed the more telling blows in the fight.
These bantamweights are scheduled to go 8.
They're not really bantamweights, like I said earlier. Tapia is a natural 115-pounder, ranked in the United States about number 13 by the USBA at 115 pounds. Good right cross by Tapia. That was a good countering punch. As you were mentioning earlier, probably the better counter punch is going to win this fight. He who can counter punch better, because they're both coming out and just going for it, throwing those blows, throwing bombs. Be the one that makes a mistake and counters probably will win this fight. Those punches all fell short. A lot of punches thrown here, very few landed in this round so far. Very concerned look on the face of young Johnny Tapia from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Good right hand lead by Tapia. Flush on the side of the face.
Hernandez counters with a good right-left combination. I don't think Hernandez, Pedro, can be successful standing right in front of Tapia unless when Tapia unloads, he takes a quick step forward and gets inside those strong hooks that Tapia is unloading.
Well, if you look at the physical stature of the two, and we've mentioned it time and time again, Hernandez is a bigger man. He should be roughing Tapia up, getting him against the ropes, making him fight in a brawl. Much like Roberto Duran did to Ray Leonard the first time in Montreal. Up against the ropes in the corners, make him fight inside.
You remember that fight?
Oh, do I remember it? It was a great fight.
One of the best ever.
Yeah, and I didn't think Duran could do better than that. The performance over Barkley was a fantastic fight.
Ranks right up there with the Thrill in Manila, Ali and Frazier.
Well, now Duran signed to fight the winner of the war.
Yep.
June 12th. Thomas the Hitman Hearns going after Sugar Ray Leonard's WBC 168-pound World Championship.
But right now, a couple of outstanding super bantamweights are doing battle. Tapia now beginning to trickle blood from his right nostril.
Tapia is bothered by the strength factor here. This disadvantage in strength is bothering him. I don't think he's ever been in with a fighter who's stronger than him before. Very unorthodox lunging by Freddie Hernandez.
Inside 20 seconds here of round 3 as these super bantams are scheduled for 8.
This round hasn't been as action-packed as the other two, but still a good fight.
Final seconds of round 3.
California Angels are coming. The California Angels.
Action, super bantamweights Johnny Tapia and Freddie Hernandez. And Pedro, who'd you like in round 3?
I'm gonna have to cop out, Phil. I'll call that round even. I didn't think either fighter exerted an advantage in that fight, in that round. The longer this fight goes, you would think, with Hernandez having the physical size advantage, he would rough him up. Got to rough Tapia up. You can't box him on the outside. Johnny Tapia's got too good of a jab and a strong right hand. Ooh, good shot by Hernandez. Tapia looked a little hurt there. Johnny Tapia abandoning his defense there. So he was getting hit with shots. He just decided to go for it, and he got hit some more. Both fighters lunging, throwing a lot of wild blows. Hernandez, I think Hernandez's confidence is starting to build a little bit, Steve, without a doubt.
By Tapia.
Former two-time national amateur champion. Tough guy.
Looking at his face from round 1 till now, you can see the confidence begin to wane just a little as a look of concern comes over his eyes.
I've seen Johnny Tapia fight a number of times. I've never seen him this into a fight. In other words, knowing that he was in a fight. He knows he's in a fight here tonight. Good jab. For Tapia to be successful, though, he's got to double up on that jab, double and triple up on it. Isn't much head movement from Mr. Hernandez. He seems like he's susceptible to the jab in the right hand.
Both fighters 8-1.
No,
that's right, Tapia 8-0-1.
8-0-1.
6 of his 8 victories have come via knockout.
101-21 as an amateur.
Hey, Woody must have fought every night.
Well, I fought a guy in the 1984 Western Olympic Trials. I had 34 fights. Guy had 350. Vincent Webb. God.
350 amateur fights.
Good right hand by Hernandez. One of those guys looked like he could strike a match on his chest. You know, Hernandez is scoring with that right hand counter. He's scoring right to the chest of Johnny Tapia. This is an 8-round fight. Body shots will play a part in this fight. Johnny Tapia wearing his trunks very high, above the navel.
Concerned Johnny Tapia's his 8-0-1 record is on the line against a very, very difficult super bantamweight Freddie Hernandez.
Without a doubt, I think the fight's even at this point after 4 rounds. It's a good fight so far. It's a good test for Johnny Tapia. Johnny Tapia needs tests like this. He's been whacking people out in 1 or 2 rounds real quick. So he needs this. He needs to go 8. I didn't think he would, but he needs it.
Now, Tapia has got to begin demonstrating that explosiveness we have seen in his previous fights.
Well, he's letting Hernandez dictate the pace now.
Yes, he is.
Without a doubt. Hernandez with a little slight jab here. Got the crowd's attention. Hernandez breathing out of the mouth. His conditioning may be a little suspect. 3 jabs in the right hand, all missed.
You know, you watch Tapia and Hernandez styles, Pedro, and you get the feeling they might be just as successful with tire irons.
Yeah,
I mean, these are brawlers.
yeah, without a doubt. They're in your throat. There's very little feeling out between these two guys. They're winging it.
Good exchange. Both fighters landing.
Without a doubt. I question Tapia's trunks being up that high, but then again, I look at Hernandez, and his trunks are above his belly button or the navel. Good right hand by Tapia. Tapia really hasn't landed a great punch in about 3 rounds. I think it was the first round he landed some punishing shots on Hernandez. Then, since then, he's been landing, but not with that much authority. Looks like a little blood starting to trickle out of the nose of Hernandez now. Tapia's nose is bleeding a little earlier. Johnny Tapia and Freddie Hernandez clashing heads there in that last exchange. Tapia didn't like it. Johnny Tapia, I think there's a fault in him, Phil. He's too flat-footed. Doesn't get up on his toes enough.
Absolutely no movement at all from either one of these fighters.
Good exchange.
Hernandez right in front of Tapia.
I think Tapia's hurt a little bit. Johnny Tapia cannot afford to stand and slug with him.
But Tapia doesn't believe that.
No.
And that's the problem.
See, here's the thing. If it turns into a war of attrition, usually the bigger man wins because he has a strength factor on his side. So we're going 8 rounds here. Referee breaks both men. Johnny Tapia just still apologizing like he was fighting the amateurs. Johnny Tapia is still trying to lead with right hands. You got to lead with the jab to get inside. Lead with right hands, you lunge, and you get countered on.
20 seconds remain here in round 5 of these super bantams are scheduled for 8. Boy, this fight began rounds 1 and 2. You had the feeling that it might not go into the 4th round, let alone the 5th.
Without a doubt, but Hernandez starting to take control now.
Really got me. Here we go.
You should. This is boxing and some of its finest. Certainly this bout. Super Bantam's Freddie Hernandez in the cobalt blue and Johnny Tapia in the black. Really staged an excellent fight thus far.
And in a fight that Johnny Tapia was thought to be, not to be a shoo-in, but you know, it was thought going in he'd win this fight. I think his O is in question right now. In fact, his O might go tonight, Phil.
Well, he has allowed Hernandez to dictate this fight since round 3. It has been Freddie Hernandez, the youngster out of Mexicali, who has pretty much taken control and dictated the pace of this fight.
Making Johnny Tapia lunge and throw right hand leads and not. Johnny Tapia needs to work that jab. He's got a great jab, so he needs to double and triple up on it. He can still win this fight. Not out of it by any means, but he's making it harder on himself. Ooh, cheap shot thrown by Tapia. On the break there, referee warned him. One more time, I'll take a point. That just makes Hernandez mad. He comes back with a left hook. See, Hernandez slipped that right hand there. Good defensive fighter, better than I thought he would be.
Like Tapia beginning to lunge badly. You get the feeling that Hernandez sticks out that stinging jab and catches Tapia coming in. This one might be over.
Well, this fight's starting to get a little dirty now. Both fighters starting to feel a little frustrated. Johnny Tapia gets caught with his feet together like he just did in that last exchange. He will get knocked flat. You can't have your feet side by side in boxing. You've got to be in that T stance, that L stance. If you're not, you're in trouble.
Tapia in the black, Hernandez in the cobalt blue.
Tapia just not doing enough to win this fight, Phil, in my mind.
Remember back early in round 3 when Hernandez caught him with a stinging right hand, and since that time it has been a much different Johnny Tapia.
Without a doubt. Good right hand by Tapia. Just, I take that back, caught the edge of the chin of Hernandez. Little wrestling, little rough stuff by Johnny Tapia. Frustration starting to show on the face of Albuquerque's Johnny Tapia tonight here, Phil.
And the confidence that we saw in rounds 1 and 2 are long since gone.
And by Hernandez, nice right hand. Follow the jab. Good right hand by Tapia, but he's winging it. He's throwing wild lunging right hands. He isn't setting them up. Round 6. Another round in the bank for Hernandez in my book. He's up by 2.
Hernandez, who has had things pretty much his way since round 2.
He's up by 2 points, I think, without a doubt. He's been the more assertive fighter. He's asserted his will over Johnny Tapia in my mind, so I've got him up by 2 points. It's an 8-round fight. 2 rounds left. Johnny Tapia's got to pick it up, or I think his O might go. He's undefeated. 8-0-1. 6 KOs. 5 in the first round.
Tapia, interestingly enough, one of his trainers is Miguel Tapia, who is his grandfather.
Yeah, you know, I've always questioned having relatives in the corner of fights. There's been a lot of controversial fights, tragic fights in the last few years where relatives have worked the corners and fighters have ended up either seriously hurt or dead. So it's a two-sided coin. I don't like it.
Now Tapia going to have to turn it up a notch or two here if he is to stay undefeated.
He's going to have to turn it up a couple notches. He's got to get it going, but he's got to get it going with that jab. That is the Johnny Tapia piece of cake. See, you can't just throw one jab and then lunge in with a combination because you're out of position. And when Tapia comes in like that, throwing those combinations, his feet are crossed. His balance is not good. Good right hand. Beautiful. 2 of them. Good 2 right hands and a good forearm by Tapia. Hernandez, though, unfazed by the power of the 115-pound, natural 115-pounder Johnny Tapia. And I don't think Johnny Tapia will take any more fights with any featherweights after this, Phil.
Good point.
He just spotted too much height, weight, and size.
Well, he's finding out what a guy can do who's got the weight advantage in terms of power behind those punches.
Without a doubt.
Not used to get hit that hard.
No, he isn't. Hernandez starting to see Tapia. He's throwing those combinations, but he's throwing right uppercuts from the outside. He's gambling. Johnny Tapia, a favorite here with the Irvine crowd. This is where he turned pro about a year and a half ago. So several of his fights under the Don Frazier promotional banner. I forgot to mention how we score fights. We score fights, we use 4 points of judging. Our criteria is we score fights. Good shots.
Hernandez showing you how he scores punches.
Well, the 4 points we use to judge a professional fight are effective aggressiveness, effective punching, ring generalship, and defense. And except for a little lagging on the defense, I think Mr. Hernandez is in control of this fight. And no, he's not related to my former broadcast partner, Tony Hernandez.
Or Enzo Hernandez.
Good body shots by Hernandez. Beautiful body shots.
Well, an entertaining 7th round. And Pedro, if you're going back to the corner of Johnny Tapia, what are you going to expect to hear from your people, your corner people?
I think they should tell him, you've got to go out there and knock Mr. Hernandez out to win. I think that's his big shot. I think he's behind by 3 points. We're at 8 round point.
But how do you do that? He's been unable to do it in the first 7 rounds.
Well, he was, in the first round, he was landing beautifully. He was setting it up with the jab, landing beautiful right hands and left hip leads. He's got to go back to using that jab. It might be too little too late now.
And, of course, for Freddie Hernandez, he was on the short end of the string, rounds 1 and 2. And since that time, boy, has he lit the afterburners.
Without a doubt, he's in control here. He's got to feel it.
Well, it began with a stinging right hand back in round 3. And from that time on, Hernandez really has been fearless.
Yeah, he's owned Johnny Tapia for the most part of this fight. Last round of a great fight. Johnny Tapia has never been 8 rounds before. The longest he's been was 6. Johnny Tapia backing up. That's not the posture I think I would take if I was him. God, Hernandez is a better defensive fighter than he looks, Phil, because he keeps slipping that Tapia jab, and Tapia's got a good spearing jab.
Good straight left hand.
Yeah. Referee in to break him out. A little too soon there. Referee should let Hernandez work inside. Hernandez been landing good punches, good body punches to the heart. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Johnny Tapia. Uh-oh. Johnny Tapia.
Tapia angry now here in the 8th and final round, and he and Hernandez are going to go to war.
They're going at it. Johnny Tapia likes showboating. Look at him. Trying to pump this crowd up, trying to pump the crowd up behind him. Johnny Tapia holding and hitting. Johnny Tapia
working this crowd.
Sing.
And I don't know what Kenny Davis, the referee, is doing, breaking these fighters up.
They've got a fight on the inside. Tapia looked a little bothered there by a right hand. Tapia just winging, but he's catching the shots. They're right above us. Referee breaking him again.
Tapia slips. That'll be no knockdown.
Referee's wanting to do his job a little bit too much here tonight. There he is, breaking him up again. Their hands weren't tied up. Now, I don't break fighters. I don't believe you should break them. Good right hand by Hernandez, unless both fighters' arms are tied up together. Tapia trying to get that crowd to exhort him. Personally, I think it's getting a little rough here. Referee Mr. Davis, he's lost control of this fight. Good left hook by Hernandez. Another left hook by Hernandez. Tapia, good jab by Hernandez.
Final 30 seconds of this fight. Oh, Tapia and Hernandez. What a war. Seconds left. Oh, Hernandez goes down. Oh, my.
Did the referee stop the fight?
No, he did not stop the fight.
He stopped it. The referee stopped it. In California, you can be saved by the final bell. And I believe the referee signaled the fight was over after the bell rang. If he did, I think that's a boot, another boot on the referee's part.
I thought the rule was you could not be saved except for the bell on the final round. Wait a minute.
And that was the final bell.
But
referee Kenny Davis over explaining things to the chief inspector, George Ishihara of the California State Athletic Commission.
Well, what I'm saying is the rule I thought read you could not be saved except
in the final round.
For the final round,
and
which means, let's hold on a minute. They're talking things over with the referee and the judges. But Hernandez, did he take a hook?
He was knocked out. Let's look at this on the replay here. Here they are. Here comes the left hook. Flush. Look at the glaze on Hernandez's face as he went down. I'd be interested in the judges' scorecards. Because in my mind, if Hernandez doesn't get a knockout victory, he lost the fight by a point. A lot of paper money being thrown in the ring here.
For 23 minutes and 58 seconds, Hernandez appeared to have won this fight. Oh, what a turnaround in the final 2 seconds. An electrifying finish to a superb battle of super bantamweights, as that man right there had this fight in his hip pocket before, with 3 seconds to go in the 8th and final round, Johnny Tapia took him out, Pedro.
What a left hook. Picture perfect left hook.
Let's go to Danny Valdivia to find out officially when the end came.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hernandez was saved by the bell. The bout goes to the scorecards. Judge Pat Connolly scores it 77-74. Judge Lou Moret scores it 76-75. Judge Robert Bird scores it 76-75. The winner by unanimous decision, Johnny Tapia.
I can't agree with that decision, Phil.
Oh, my.
I'm sorry, and the crowd's booing.
A very unpopular decision, and Pedro, I agree with you 100%.
Johnny Tapia lost that fight. No question about it.
How in the world could 3 judges see that fight in favor of Johnny Tapia?
Well, like I said to you, he turned pro here in Irvine, California. He's a big crowd favorite. You saw him pumping up the crowd. How he could be ahead by entering that last round is just, it's unfathomable. It is.
Well, don't you dare go away. If you like that fight, this one should be a